It's another edition of Checking In with Hein and Johnny, where the hosts bring in mystery topics that neither host knows anything about until the mics go hot and on the air. We are the show that keeps the host from talking about the weather and World War II 24 hours a day. Hey, Heine, man, what's on your mind?
Mind. Ooh.
Just practicing up for my moves for the Bat-toosie. Have you ever done the Bat-toosie?
No, but is that what they did in Pulp Fiction? Is that what they...
I think so, and Batman and Robin.
Oh,
The Bat-toosie, whenever he would get with Lee Merriweather or whoever it was, who was Catwoman or someone who was trying to entice him, and he would do the Bat-toosie.
man.
You didn't watch that show, huh?
I did when I was very young. It was in color on ABC.
Indeed.
Yeah, it was my favorite show. It was fantastic.
Well, it's on again, and you can watch it again on Heroes and Icons every Sunday morning at 7, if anyone else in the house will let you. My wife finds it a little inane.
You have said that you are a huge Adam West fan. Is that truly the case? And are you watching religiously at 7 a.m. on Sundays?
Well, I am a true huge Adam West fan, and I never actually got to meet him because my parents would never take me to the Autorama to see him. And I would watch it every Sunday morning, except for the fact that I'm constantly insulted by anyone who walks into the room and says, "You're watching this? Are you a complete idiot?"
They pelt you with verbal rocks and garbage because of the pow, zap, zing.
And, I get many of my jokes from the show.
Oh, nice. Well,
Yeah.
then it's a big bonus for the pod.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, of course. Johnny, 3 men, let's see. 3 men are on a boat, lifeboat, with 4 cigarettes and no matches. How do they smoke?
I have no idea. Pray tell me. I've never been good at riddles.
They throw 1 cigarette over and make the boat a cigarette lighter.
Oh, I can see why you are abused by your family.
Wow, that's classic Riddler.
That's so classic Riddler. The weather looks fantastic where you are. Pray tell us why you are not in Chateau de Heine in Salt Lake City.
Well, we can every couple of years, Chris will beg and scream at me to take her somewhere other than Hallett, Oklahoma.
Nice.
And a great way to get out and go someplace nice is to visit one of my brother's places.
Nice.
So we're in Florida today.
So
and not shoveling snow.
It looks gorgeous weather. In fact, you posted a couple of photos of you soaking in the cocoa rays on the beach. Congrats. What city are you in?
What city are we in?
It's Chris. It's not 5:30, so we get to see her.
Yep, I said I want to wish you well on your 75th episode.
Thank you. We are
as your
blessed.
number one
listener. As you should be.
Listener.
Yeah, I'm not a watcher.
One. Well, there's nothing to see. There is nothing to see except skin eruptions. So
Well, no, look at your studio there, Johnny. It's nice.
if you have never watched, this is the pretend Florida Caribbean backdrop. Yeah. So
Good stuff.
I guess it's nice.
Well, I like to
$6
carry
from
on.
Hulu.
Oh,
We're very happy to have had a guest. We've never had a guest.
that's
Congrats.
good. Right. Like, would you like to sit down for an interview?
No, I know you're not prepared for that.
Oh, we are.
Oh,
No, we won't make it's supposed to be your
I'm gonna go
vacation.
read and
Come
look out
on.
my balcony,
No, you do not have to do it.
or
We're
go
not-
get
She's
bait
going to go get bait.
with my brother-in-law.
She's going to go cut bait.
No,
Oh,
maybe a Bloody Mary. Oh, okay.
Is that next to the
Paige
bait
knows
shop?
how to sweeten it all up.
Bloody Mary shop.
See, you can't see
Bait.
how good this is, Henry.
You can't.
It's
You just
really
can't.
good. He should tour it around.
Ooh. It's lush and gorgeous in Florida.
Yeah. Now go up
It
that
is.
way. Go.
I wish I was in
so-
Florida with you.
We wish you were here too, Johnny.
It's yeah. Oh yeah. I'm such a great guest. I do a lot of whining. So what activities have you done in the gorgeous Florida?
I rolled out of bed the other morning and went out and was cast off into the water and did some scuba diving.
Oh man, that's great. So anything fun?
No, there were, it's always one of those things where there's more fish at the restaurant
Yeah.
swimming around the dock. We saw, some lionfish and sponges, and we did kind of a drift dive, so they plop you in the water
And then
and
gotcha.
and then catch you later. And then, so I didn't eat anything, but
Wise.
still got up out of the water and threw up on the boat.
No, that's one of our best friends. Every time he dove, yacked up everything he'd eaten in the last 3 days without fail. We didn't even have to be a boat. We went off the shore, just walked into the water, and he came back in and had to yak for 10 minutes. So I don't think that's uncommon. He didn't even have any diesel fumes from the boat. But yeah, one of the side effects.
Yeah, no, but I did it. I was there looking for different things. Trying as I drifted along, head down looking down. Then we went to the alligator farm and the Everglade boat ride.
And you teased us last week about it. So you put on headphones, you went on the boat ride. What was the highlight? Oh, you didn't feel like Marlon Perkins could have done a show about your boat ride, huh?
The highlight was probably them blasting. The airboats have we ran to the gift shop and got the earplugs.
Yeah.
And then two 350 Chevys up there driving the props, and the boat driver, gets it sideways all the way out, driving to chase down the alligator. And I guess you're on the canals, kind of around the Everglades. You're not really out where Marlon Perkins would have gone to chase armadillos or whatever it is. And so that was fun.
Did it live up to Chris's expectations? She seems like the type of person who, in theory, gets excited about going on the boat ride. But once the skeeters start to bite you,
no, she was happy.
Oh,
she was happy.
Good.
And especially enjoyed the part where you goes to the alligator it's not alligator wrestling. They have the alligators that they have an alligator rescue. I didn't know this was a thing.
Oh, it's not wrestling anymore. Now it's rescuing alligators.
Well, so they apparently, if a alligator shows up and brings you your newspaper here in Florida, you can call the alligator busters, and some swamp person, let's call them a swamp person, will come out and catch the alligator. And if he doesn't immediately make it into alligator fritters, he can take it to the rescue, and they'll put it in the tank with the other happy alligators, and then these guys will wrestle with it and come up and show you its mouth and tell you fun facts and put the nose under their chin and hold their arms out. I guess that's got to be one of those tricks. Like if you hold the alligator's head up high enough, he can't rip off your face with his lower jaw.
Yeah. It's the only thing I can think of, because that's a pretty consistent trick.
Yes, you've been to the alligator farm, so check that one off my box of things to do on the I would have preferred to have been like in a kayak out there, but Chris would not have done that. Then you could actually swim over and paddle over and pet the alligators and see if they're really as mean as advertised or not. What you have to actually do to nettle them enough to lose a limb.
Yeah. We have found that they are not aggressive at all when they're eating well. I mean, we've, as long as you don't have your puppy with you, they don't get aggressive at all. They, you can annoy them and they really didn't get too aggressive. We never lost a limb, though. All the years that we lived in Florida, we never, lost a pet.
What was your closest alligator encounter?
We lived on a lake, and so they were constantly in the yard. So we were within, 6 feet every day. They were always in the yard. So it was completely not unnormal to just go out and just chill with them. I'd just sit there and watch them. I don't know if you remember a really famous kicker for the Patriots, got the Patriots into their first Super Bowl. He lived next door, and he would fish on that lake, and he would fish and put the line on top of the alligators, reel them in, and they would just annoy them. But they were. We were always around the alligators, but we love alligator photos and videos of them coming into the house through the pet door. We love it when somebody loses a limb or they try and move them. They cut one alligator open a few years back, and it had 42 dog collars in its stomach. 42. That's a lot of puppies.
I can see myself paddling around the swamp with my cell phone looking for my dog tracker, and it's in the alligator.
That would be sad and great story for the pod.
Right, it didn't happen.
How many days have you got left in the gorgeous Florida sun? Do you have to come right back now? It's the weekend, or
probably like an official 2.
Oh,
2 more days.
Countdown. Yeah, vacation countdowns. Now, are you so busy at work that you never take vacations, or are you like 4 times a year kind of get away and relax so Chris doesn't kill you?
No, I always find time for a vacation.
Good.
But I don't like to talk about work. But yeah, no, I realize
the weekend, so
to have a vacation.
and
go someplace
exotic.
fun places like, La Junta, Colorado is a great spot to go. It's got the abandoned air base and the racetrack.
Everything Chris
And
actually dreams about. I
now
love
Sonoma County has a racetrack, and so we'll go there. That is much better for your companion, where they can go and
have a little fun.
the wine country.
Yeah, we for years and years, probably like other people around the country, you hear about Sonoma and Napa Valley, and well, big deal until you go, and then holy smokes, you're like, oh, I see what people are talking about. Gorgeous, unbelievable food. It's spectacular. It's such a fun place to visit. So yeah, we want to go back. We went with our boys and did golfing. So we golfed and fished, kind of on the coast there. Allison caught a salmon. We all had fun catching much less fun. Allison always catches really good. She's always the king of fishing. So, but yeah, great memories. We want to go back. Of course, we want to go back.
We could be fishing today.
Yeah,
that is the goal out there on that boat you see yonder there.
Man,
just lower that in and
just go.
That is the lifestyle. Once you're doing a podcast and you've got I want to tell this to all people who might potentially want to do a podcast, even, if all you do is get on and complain about relatives. This is the life. This is the life.
That's the life of the Heine podcaster. That's what doing a podcast gets you, is a week fishing on the Gulf.
Yeah, and while I was in here, I went up in our closet. I think this is a mint condition copy of
Life.
Keith Richards' Life. And so I feel like an expert now because I have looked at most of the photos.
Oh, that's how I read books.
This book is like, it's 500 pages.
I know, it's a real book. Yeah. It is a real book. That we did that. I mean, that was our first, I think it was our first episode, was the book Life. People love talking about Keith. They love talking about Keith Richards.
Oh, yeah.
We get good viewers when we chat about Keith.
Yes.
Well, I'm proud of you.
Read more, like a whole chapter or something.
Probably not.
What we call a chapter book.
If you've only got 2 days, you will not be reading that book. I guarantee you will find more fun stuff to do than reading. At least I would. Nobody's gotten bit by those horrible snakes in Florida that we were always seeing on the news.
I haven't seen a snake yet.
Yeah, I never saw any snakes.
Except at the Everglades Park, where they were charging you $10 to have your photo taken.
With a python or something?
Yeah, with the ball python. It was kind of a little one. It's like, man, I want something bigger.
For $10.
For $10. And to get the photo. To get the photo.
Yeah.
So anyway,
We're too
no
cheap.
Snakes, no bugs, no chiggers. There is not a bug out here.
Yeah.
The mosquito abatement must be insane.
Yeah, they would come by. When our experience in Florida is once a week, they would come by with the fume truck and gas our whole neighborhood, and it worked good. Yeah, we never were consumed by bugs. So, yay for chemicals.
Something, yes, they're doing something right here because it is just perfect. Oh, there is a rare species of bird right there on the lawn. I don't know.
I love it.
Must be a double-breasted cormorant.
I'll tell you.
I'm no Marlin Perkins.
You're no Marlin Perkins, but you are way more Marlin than me. You can do fish and birds.
Yeah, probably wants to get on the pod or dig a worm, one or the other.
Yeah, the pod is exciting, but the worm is delicious and juicy. Speaking of not paying $10 for a photo with a baby ball python, have you ever taken back bananas that got too ripe too quickly? Are you that cheap?
No, I have never. Have you done this?
No way. I'm not. I mean,
Do
I
you
am.
know someone has done that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And those folks are just so. I mean, life is too short. For me, anyway. It just seems like way too much effort to like. How much are banana? I mean, I guess eggs now would be something, but they don't go brown. So, how about thermostat? Are you the thermostat Nazi when you have guests in the house? There's a scene in Big Daddy or Daddy's Home too, where they have a scene with John Lithgow about the thermostat that is extremely accurate for my dad. My dad was a thermostat Nazi, absolutely to the dying days.
What
Did you
was?
have anybody like that?
I mean, my dad griped about the usual things. I mean, that's, there's being there's keeping the house at, trying to lower your gas bill. I have never imposed it upon guests. I try not to do much that will drive the guests away,
Yeah.
unless Chris drives the guests away.
What are the activities that would make it so that she'd be that antisocial?
Nothing in particular. She'll just, if it's like, if
Bathing?
it, no, it's just like, you've been here too long. And she'll start saying things like, don't you think it's time you should leave?
It's very subtle. Well, Chris is after my own heart.
She
I
does that
am
now. Is that you?
that's me. You probably know about me now. I am kind of antisocial. So yeah, I would say generally, I'm generally not a chatty cat. If I'm not on the pod, I am not a chatty Cathy.
Yes, you are. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Get out of town.
Well, I mean, for people I like, but no one else, and that's a short list, brother. That's a short list. It might be just 2 or 3 people on Earth, but that's me. That's obviously me and Chris, because
That is, the end of, I will be, I'm happy to have people around forever, a long, super long time, parties that stretch on into the evening, doing karaoke until 3 a.m.
nice.
Are some of my passions. And Chris will, a great way to end a party and maybe give a clue that the party's over is suddenly when the Edmund Fitzgerald comes up on the playlist of the
Gordon Lightfoot's Canadian classic.
about the sinking ship.
Time's up. Are you guys getting a little tired?
No, then you get the people like, oh, I love this. How did anyone have the forethought to write a song about detailing the ship's capacity to haul iron ore? And the business transactions that occur between the steel mills of Wisconsin.
It's a classic story. Most everybody has. Every rock and roller has a steel ship song that
What
they
should the next line with this be? What rhymes with concluding some terms with a couple of
Chippewa on
steel
down.
firms. Should I mention the president of the company's name? No, we don't want to get that personal about it.
Don't want to get sued.
Forget about it.
I love it. While you're in Florida or the Caribbean, have you ever done a zip line? Has that ever been on your guys' activity?
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah, don't
Did
talk
you
about
enjoy
that.
it?
What?
And
No.
do you?
It was
Oh,
another loser activity. So we went to Norway, and it's like,
ooh,
this is the world's longest zip line.
wow.
And so we get out there, and everyone's apprehensive. Are you going to do the zip line? Yeah, I'm doing the zip line. We're going to do the zip line. Yeah, you're going to watch me just zip across, looking down at and so you get on this thing, and they're getting ready to push you off. And I think if you've ridden a ski chairlift, you're ready for the zip line. So I get on the zip line, and okay, we're going to launch. Here we're going to go. Here we're going to go. And I get off, and I spread my line, and my zip line has like the brakes permanently jammed on. My wife
A governor.
speeds ahead of me by 200 yards. She's having fun. Woohoo! Here I go down. I'm out there like, this thing is, I'm limping down the mountain. Am I going to make it? I should have brought a cigar to enjoy while I zip down the mountain, or not.
Line.
So I get down to the bottom. It's like, this zip line was a loser. There was no rush. There was no adrenaline. Oh,
No
man,
threat of
I'm
death?
zipping. So if you go to Norway, poo-poo on their zip line.
Yeah,
You should get a back, or check the bearings. There's got to be something in the wheels, or maybe I got on the zip line a week or two too close to Thanksgiving. So
the
that
tonnage was up. The gross weight.
I mean, I think a heavier object heading down the hill should go faster than a lighter one. Instead, Chris says, woo, a mile ahead. She said, ooh, that was really cool, man. That was a rush. I'm like, it's the worst zip line of all time.
Did
you do the zip line? Did you go to Costa Rica and do a zip line?
We have not. No, they've been offered, but like you, I'm like, it doesn't look fast enough to kill me, so I'm not that interested in it. In Norway, what other things did you do though? Is zipline the only thing you can do in Scandinavia? Is that why you did it? Because that's it?
Yeah. What else did we do? We rode. So once we got down from the zip line, we got on bikes and rode bikes the rest of the way down. And that was fun along, a massive river.
Nice.
That is gushing, very, very beautiful.
Nice.
And rainy. Norway is, if you forget your sunscreen, you're probably okay.
It is not Florida.
It was an interesting place. It was kind of hard to find an actual Norwegian because they make so much money on their oil revenue that they all can sit home and
travel,
and then hire people from Czechoslovakia to come and work their gift shops.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it?
So it's like, do you guys have any woven handicrafts here that the local natives make? It's like, well, are you an idiot? You don't make these things in Norway. What about the fun wooden shoes? Wrong country, idiot.
Oh, I love it. I love it, though. Yes, I remember your photos were spectacular. Oh my gosh, the landscapes are gorgeous from where you were traveling there. That's awesome.
Yeah, we did some fun stuff there, but mostly a great thing to do. Hitting the cruise ship buffet became a major activity.
Yeah, that's the
Maybe go to
highlight.
the gym, the gym buffet.
That was the main activity.
Buffet gym. Mm-hmm.
Have you been a good, solid workout person your whole life? I mean, are you good about going and working out every day?
No. How about
I'm
you?
not. No, I mean, I pretend to be. If somebody asks me, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm exercising. Oh yeah, I'm exercising. Particularly at the doctors, I I am happy to lie to the doctors at any point. What's your caffeine intake? Oh, pretty standard. Is it 4 liters of Diet Coke every day? No, it is not. That's ridiculous. I don't have any Diet Mountain Dew. That would kill me. Are you insane, Doc? Yeah, I'm a big liar. Big fat liar.
Yeah, I'm probably like everybody that goes through phases. In the dead of winter, slow down. Then spring comes, and I start going, man, I need to shake off some of this extra weight, and then start doing stuff for a while until it's like, this going out, I get really sweat. Well, what it is I'll work out and then never sweat. On the cruise ship, there's this guy next to me, and he's on the exercise bicycle, and you thought it was raining outside. It's raining inside under his exercycle. It's like,
Pouring with sweat, huh?
slow down. It's like, I guess I'm going to have to pick up the pace a little bit here.
He inspires. I guess that's other people inspire you that are doing so well. So I guess
they shame me. It's different.
that is different.
It's
Very,
different.
very different. Inspired is a very bad word for what happens. It's shame.
But it's, exercise is good. You want to make this ride as long and as good as possible until all that coffee and wine catches up with you.
Yeah, you want to go. They say one of the precursors, if you want to know one of the things that's pretty common if you're losing your marbles, if you're getting Alzheimer's, is that you find like your phone and your remote in the fridge. I have yet to find my, accidentally leave my stuff like that in the fridge, but they say that's extremely common. So, for all 3 of our listeners, if you've ever left your phone or remote control in the fridge, you're probably on the decline. Sorry.
No, that's what the warning is here is if you ever find your phone in the fridge, never admit to anyone that you
To the
did
doctor.
it, because they'll start selecting your home right then.
Yes. let's look at the list of possibilities where you will be living in a diaper.
Okay then. Where should we?
Yeah. We had a relative that broke a bone and was rehabbing, and the phrase Roach Motel comes to mind about all the memories. Oh goodness. I'm telling you, everybody out there, don't break a hip. Your body will be feasted upon by rats and la cucaracha the rest of your life, because they don't care about how many rats and rodents they have in your rehab nursing home.
That's okay. I'm getting another donut on board right now.
One of the things that the doctors say about seeing how long you'll live, if you want a good idea of how long you'll live, it's verbal fluency. And I had never heard of that phrase. But verbal fluency, I guess, is how often you struggle to find the phrase. Like you're discussing something, talking about it, but if it takes you a ton of time, multiple times a day, to find the word that you're looking for, you're probably gonna die. I thought that was
So
interesting.
I think, the natural extension of that is if people are listening to your podcast at 1.5 speed or higher, you're losing it.
If you're so slow that everyone in your family tells you they listen at 3 times the speed, you're probably dying.
Because that's different than just fast forwarding through it and saying, okay, yeah, I listened to it.
I listened.
This much tiny bit sort of wanted to hear what you had to say, but didn't have the patience or mental capacity. I felt my mind was rotting along the way.
It was so boring. I had to speed through it in
Every
order to not kill myself.
every slip along the way, I felt my brain getting smaller, and I was starting to drool.
Oh well, that's
We
just
got it, Johnny. We're going down fast.
we're going down. We just don't know if we'll make it to the year anniversary.
Yeah,
We're so May, June, July, August. So really, Chris congratulated us on our shows, but we've only got 3 months to when we started this bad boy a year ago. You said, and I quote, when I mentioned we're going to do it, you said, "Are we going to have enough to talk about for 2 episodes?" And your son says, "No, you don't have enough for 2 episodes to keep it interesting. I have to listen to it on 3 times the speed because you guys have run out of stuff to talk about."
oh.
He's right. But screw him. We don't care.
That's right. Who was it? Was it Mick or Keith that said, "If I'm still doing this when I'm 30, I hope I'm dead"?
It was Keith.
Was it Keith?
Yeah.
He
He was a little bit wrong.
He was. He somehow kept going.
Yeah, they showed
Going until he was 80.
he still wants to go out on the road again next year. And the dude, have you seen Keith's knuckles? Keith's
No.
knuckles are the size of a peach. I mean, he has hands
There's some
like
imagery.
mine,
Yeah.
but he's got 5 enormous walnuts where it makes me wonder how in the world he plays guitar, but he does.
Well, did you see that Johnny Mathis has announced his couple of last shows because he is leaving the phone in the fridge.
Yeah.
And but the dude's 89. It's like I thought he died in the 50s. Wasn't he on that airplane that went down with Buddy Holly or whatever after he did the Christmas album audios?
He's been dead for years.
He's still out there?
He's still trying.
I mean, that's impressive. 89.
89, and
Rock
people
on.
are still buying tickets. It's amazing how, if you've got something to do. On the subject, Heine, is your plan to continue to work till you drop dead with Johnny Mathis, or are you going to retire?
Yes, I am going to work until I drop dead.
Nice.
That I may put somebody else in charge. I figure that I have to have a plan in place by the time I'm within the next few years, to where
Succession.
if they find my phone in the fridge,
In the Jello, you've made a delicious Jello mold, and your phone is ringing inside of it.
vibrating
Dad's
pineapple and marshmallows.
all from Grandma.
What if you leave your phone in your toolbox? Is that the same thing?
No. Leaving it around the house, they said, was not a precursor. It was specifically if you have found it in the fridge. And they were quite careful about the wording. So I mean, I guess I'm not going to die before next week's podcast. So good for me.
That is good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
If you break a hip, Henry, will you be doing the new latest medical tourism? Will you go to a boat off of the Bahamas and get it done for cheaper than in your hometown? Medical tourism is a big deal now because if you don't want to pay a real doctor, you can get a paralegal from a law firm to do the surgery just outside of Mexico. Does that appeal to you to
No,
save a
it
little?
doesn't, Johnny. I don't know. Who do you? Well, what they had the gals going down to Mexico and getting what is the Euro treatment or whatever they're doing, and they do a tummy tuck and a
Heck yeah.
facelift and a nose job and some boobs all in one big swoop
On vacation.
And then you come home and they say, ma'am, when did you have your kidney removed?
Oh, man. 40.
In the next room over, they had a kidney donor waiting for your kidney. They said,
Kidney.
they never miss it.
You don't need it.
You didn't need it. We were in there.
When you got your C cups, did you ask them to remove half of your liver and kidney? I never knew.
The sign, the sign on the door next door did say liver donors.
You just didn't know that was you.
Yes, you were going in the same place. There was the door. That door went next door.
Medical accidents. You know what she should have done, Henry? She should have written on her kidney, "Not this organ." You know how people do that on their knee? Wrong knee. She should have written that on her spleen and liver so that the doctor wouldn't steal it in Tijuana.
Yeah, nope. I'm not going to go to Turkey and get the hair plugs put in.
Oh man.
I've heard about that. It doesn't sound pleasant. It's kind of like they come out, they've got this splotchy hair, and they're in like a lot of pain. Oh,
Chunks.
that really hurt. Now I have.
Yeah. I guess
the turf's growing back in.
Oh man, but it's not. It looks like Chernobyl turf after the accident. It doesn't look like the lush fields of Florida where there'd be a python hiding in it that you don't.
They don't just lay on a layer of sod.
No. I think that's what Elton John did. Elton John did the thing where the surgeon just takes all of the hair on the back of your head and just slices the whole piece off. So it's like turf, and then just glues it on, the Bosley thing. So then you don't have the Chernobyl look.
They would just be kind of like giving, an atomic wedgie up over my head to get the hair on my back up there.
I've got plenty on my back. I can see why in Turkey they're just like pulling it out of the back and ears and shoving it in the dude's cranium.
What I mean, so they move they move this little patch up from your pubes or wherever, and now that it gets more sunlight, does it grow better?
It's happier.
Or do you just wind up with like a little curly
huge clumps of pubic hair that are growing in clumps?
We're disenfranchising a whole group of our listeners, I'm sure, of a listener who just says
they are enjoying it with us. Along with us, they are thinking about their choices. People get addicted to it.
How about your toenail fungus, Johnny? How's that coming? Are you any interesting growth there, or are you having the goldfish nibble it out?
Alive and well, my friend. And the great thing for all those who are under 50 who have not been to a doctor and said, man, my feet look like someone has died in the 1800s. If you go to a doctor, this is what a real doctor, it's not like a commercial in the middle of the night. The doctor in real life goes, put this on it for about 8 years, and you may not see any change. No change. None.
How much does it cost? Oh, it's just $50 a tube.
It's $50 a tube, and you may not see a change for the next 5 years. That's the truth. And then, so you're a sucker. You get the $50 tube, and you do it. No change. No change.
That's here in Florida. I was asked, it's if you go, if you watch this as you come over, these are these hurricane doors, and they've got the rails under there, and they're like, watch it, as you come in, you can stub your toe or something on there. And I said, you don't realize I never take my shoes off. Never. My feet are like the blind cave fish that haven't seen the sun, and they've been in their shoes so long that their eyes have morphed back into their head and they don't have them.
Evolution.
So, preferred footwear are the steel-toed shoes, so that if I accidentally trip on the hurricane door, I actually take the whole frame of the door out.
It goes first. I noticed your photo at the beach was attractive because you had full army boots. You had World War II issued army boots up to your knees. And that, I love the photo because you didn't show your feet. Because
I looked like I had actually passed away and was just waiting for the cadaver takers to come and get my liver. I'm fully in favor of the take it down law. And that photo, Chris thinks, oh, this is just so funny. Let's catch him in his worst moment.
Not worst moment. That wasn't worst moment. Allison even said, Henry looks adorable on the beach.
He looks so peaceful.
Oh, maybe that's
almost like he's dead.
Peaceful. With that, see you next week. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Checking In with Hein and Johnny. You can follow all things Hein and Johnny by subscribing to Checking In with Hein and Johnny anywhere you listen to podcasts. Checking In with Heine and Johnny is sponsored by Conveyors and Equipment. They supply, design, and service all types of conveyors, belting, and material handling equipment since 1972. With 3 locations to serve you, Salt Lake City, Albuquerque, and El Paso. Find them on the web at conveyequip.com. That's ConveyeEquuip.com.